I made a terrible decision. Like trying new jungler in rank levels of terrible. I decided to make a video about Yaria, and my rank has been plummeting ever since. Just look at this masterpiece of pain. You'd think I was intentionally griefing. And here's what confuses me the most. She has a high pick rate, but her win rate so low it should come with a warning label. Why are people still playing her? Why are people still maining her? Are we all collectively suffering from Stockholm Syndrome? And then there's her law. One second, it's wholesome Disney animal rescue arc. Next second, boom, grim reincarnated deer spirit, ritual sacrifice, existential dread, and all because she has weird horn ears? Bro, have you looked at her teacher? She's basically a magical anime forest fashion show. Also, her crush on Cyrus? Absolutely peak awkward middle school energy. Every time she tries to flirt, a star dies somewhere in the galaxy. It's adorable and cringe, absolutely cringe. Anyway, let's talk abilities. She has some, they exist. Are they game changing? No. Are they at least fun? Debatable. Can they make your enemies underestimate you and then regret every life choice? Yeah, maybe. First up, her passive, Dear Spirit, aka the most useful and the most panic inducing part of her entire kit. Whenever Yaria gets hit by hard crowd control, she transforms into a majestic little deer spirit for 4 seconds. This has a 60 to 48-second cooldown, depending on level. While in deer form, her skill cooldowns are instantly refreshed, all her abilities are replaced with new ones, she can't basic attack and can't be targeted, enemies around her are slowed by 15%. On paper, that sounds amazing, like haha, got your idiot levels of counterplay, but in reality, it's pure chaos. This thing triggers randomly mid fight when you get CC'd. You could be shielding, healing, or just minding your own business, and suddenly, poof, you're a deer now. You have to drop whatever you were doing and instantly switch your brain to deer mode to use the new abilities effectively, and if your reaction time is bad, well, good luck. Yaria basically lives and dies by her passive and her ultimate. Don't worry, we'll get to the ult soon. You can't reliably control the timing, but when it does trigger, it can save your life, turn around the gang, or make CC heroes like Kui look like clowns. The only catch? You need to recognize the trigger instantly and use the temporary DA skill like your life depends on it, because it actually does. Next up, we have Wandering Beam, or as I like to call it, the nerve shotgun that decided to get a tracking system. Yaria fires a glowing soul from her staff that travels in a straight line, dealing magic damage plus 30% of her AP to enemies it hits. It knockbacks enemies slightly if they are close. Once it reaches max range, it locks onto the nearest enemy hero, launches them slightly, and marks them visible for 5 seconds. It doesn't sound like much, but that tiny launch is criminally underrated. In a team fight, even a small displacement can completely ruin an enemy squishy's day or interrupt a jungler's combo like a badly timed lag spike. You can also use it to check bushes and scout, which is pretty handy since she doesn't have enough survivability to scout herself. Just don't expect this thing to delete anyone. The damage falls off hard late game unless you're going full AP area, but that's something we'll talk about later. This will be your most spam skill early and late game. The utility is great, but its minion clear is tragic, and in a 1v1 situation, yeah, don't. Yaria 1v1 is basically handing the enemy a free highlight clip. Her entire kit is meant to enable someone else to do the damage and not be the hero of the anime. She is the protagonist's best friend, not the protagonist herself. Ah yes, Accelerating Blitz, or as I like to call it, the skill that exists just to remind you that life isn't fair. When activated, Yaria sends out little energy fuzzball that deals magic damage, plus 30% of her AP up to 3 nearby enemies, prioritizing enemies' heroes over 5 seconds. Sounds cool, right? Yeah, until you actually use it. Because during this time, Yaria can't use her basic attacks, and these little magic puffs hit like a toddler with pool noodles. They are not deleting anyone and they are just politely bopping the enemy. And remember when I said her minions clear is tragic? Well, this skill basically said, hold my dear horns. In a losing match, this thing is practically useless. You'll be forced to stand close to the enemy, which is already dangerous for a non-tanky support, only to deal less damage than Wandering Beam. Like what the fuck, HOK? Who designed this skill? Ah, yes, finally. The reason anyone pretends Yaria is a real hero and not a glorified minion with cute ears, this is her bread and butter. The skill that single handedly saves her from the dumpster tier. Ward and Protector. When cast, Yaria attaches herself to a teammate, giving them true damage shield of 1000 plus 60% of her AP plus 8% of target's max HP. While attached, she becomes untargetable. Yep, dear ghost mode. She can't use basic attacks, like she was ever going to do any damage. Her active skill cooldowns are reduced by 30%, the range on Wandering Beam and Accelerating Blitz is increased by 20%, and if she manually ends her ult, boom, 50% cooldown refund. Dear God, this ult is simultaneously glorious and infuriating. It can save your carry in clutch 1v1s, it can counter burst damage and turn fights around. But that shield pops faster than your rank dreams in solo queue. If you don't detach manually, you'll just watch it break and cry. And worst of all, if you don't pick your target fast, it auto selects the lowest HP teammate, which usually means your team's resident 08 mage. If you time it right, oh boy, you can absolutely swing a skirmish in your team's favor. But in a full 5v5 fight, the ult becomes way harder to control and is honestly a bit less game breaking than other support clutch abilities. Bonus round. Dear Spirit skills. When your passive turns you into Bambi 2.0, your skill changes into skill number 1 turns you back into your normal form. Skill number 2, a tiny dash, basically a cute hop button. Skill number 3, extends the range of your 15% slow aura. Pretty simple, but combining these with the rest of your kit actually creates some disgustingly clutch moments, if you can survive the chaos long enough to pull it off. And now that we have covered her abilities, what the actual hell were they thinking? To compensate for her somewhat goated ultimate, the devs at HOK clearly went, how do we make sure this character is both useful and completely useless at the same time? And then proceeded to nerf her skill 1 and 2 into the dirt. The result? Yaria has zero presence in a losing match. Like you can outplay the enemy, hit every skill, time your ult like a god, and it won't matter. You will slowly just watch your carry evaporate while you sit there as a dear spirit of disappointment. In a winning match, she still struggles to feel impactful because once your carry is fed, they basically turn into a raid boss and you are just emotional support plushie they keep around for moral support. Yaria shines only in that sweet spot of matches where your ADC and jungler is competent and actually benefit from your toolkit. If they are not, yeah, prepare yourself. It's going to be one of those games where no matter how cracked your mechanics are, you just don't have enough in your kit to carry the match. Alright, now let's talk about my personal solution to this tragic, beautiful mess of a hero. AP Yaria. Yeah, I know. But she's supposed to be a support. You're supposed to peel for the team. Buddy, if the match has reached to the point where Yaria has to peel to save you, that game is already a certified GG. Go to the next one. So at least let me go down in style. Her AP scaling, especially that juicy 60% boost to her shield, actually turns her into a half decent enabler and a mini DPS Germalin. Your entire gameplay as AP area should revolve around three things. Watch your shield like a hawk. The moment it's about to pop, manually end the ult and cash in on that sweet 50% cooldown refund. Targeting matters. If you let your ADC get deleted because you ulted the wrong person, that's on you, chief. Timing skill 1 like a pro. Max knockback from the nerf shotgun can actually save or finish fights if timed perfectly. Do all of this and then once you have mastered her entire kit, go and learn a better support because let's be real, Yaria is not exactly meta breaking material unless you are running a full 5-man with voice comms and a dream. And that's it, that's my review of Yaria. If you enjoyed this breakdown, hit the like button, share and subscribe. And if you are Yaria main who disagrees with everything I have said, drop your manifesto in the comments and roast me. Until next time, adios.